You're listening to an Anazao Ministries podcast.
Hello and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Systematic Geekology. I have been preparing for this episode for months. Not really. But have you ever jammed out just at the top of your lungs to a classic Disney soundtrack? Because if you have, the great debate is, which is your favorite Disney soundtrack? Joining me is TJ. We are Systematic Geekology. We are the Priest of the Geeks. And today, TJ and I will battle why we are right. So this is going to be a good episode. How are you doing today, TJ?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm here. We listeners, since you can't see this, TJ and I are matching right now, so it makes me very happy. But today was a very long day, so I am excited to geek out over Disney soundtracks. What else have you been geeking out on, TJ?
Valorant. Started playing Valorant, and I'm now addicted fully.
What kind of game is that?
It's kind of like Counter-Strike, if you've ever seen that. It's a first-person shooter.
Okay, yep.
You know, plant bomb, defuse bomb. Great game.
I went a little outside my normal, well, it's not outside my normal forte, but to you guys, this will seem completely out of left field. I did not realize they had a prequel to Bridgerton, the Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story. So I discovered that, which if you haven't heard of Bridgerton, it's just like old school, like high society London type of show, similar to Downton Abbey. But it was 6 episodes, each an hour long. I watched it in a day. It was so good. I just love that era. I think that's my favorite era. But geeked out on that. DJ, should we just go ahead? Okay, listeners, we do not know what TJ and I are going to pick, but I'm going to guess you, TJ. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're probably right. I've talked about it before.
You have, because it was during the Inside Out episode, and then you went to a completely left field and started geeking out on Ratatouille, specifically the soundtrack. So is that the episode?
Yeah.
It can be Ratatouille?
Definitely Ratatouille. Easily Ratatouille.
Gosh, which is wild to me because I don't think of anything I can sing along into that.
Because movie. You don't speak French.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's wild to me. Do you speak French?
A little.
Interesting. What do you think mine is?
Mulan?
No, that's a good guess.
Pocahontas?
No. Mulan didn't even make my top 3. Is it what?
Is it old?
Yes.
Snow White?
No.
I have no idea.
It is Hercules.
Oh, yeah, well, okay.
If you listen to our podcast, you would hear me. I have said that the Hercules soundtrack has been something I've been geeking out of, or I like my recommended, because it's so good.
Yeah, it is good. It is really good.
So what would you say is the 3 criteria, like your top 3 reasons of picking Ratatouille?
So Ratatouille, it just has a lot of things that I like. Michael Giacchino, when he wrote it, he kind of used pretty much every French musical cliche that exists, which I like personally. And he made it a little bit jazzier and more up-tempo, which I like. So I really like the style that he decided to write it in. It's one of the soundtracks that like really brings me into the story and makes me feel like I'm in the atmosphere, and it's true all the time. I listen to the Ratatouille soundtrack all the time, like not just straight, but like songs from Ratatouille play at least one every day.
Wow.
If I'm listening to music for more than like 30 minutes. It's so pretty to me as well.
Okay, it is very pretty. It's relaxing and calming.
Yeah, Le Festin, is like Remy's motif that is written into the soundtrack, and I think it is gorgeous. I listen to it all the time. It's a great song that, he wrote for the movie and then wrote the soundtrack around that. So it's just something about it. It feels like the peak of movie soundtracks to me. Okay,
so what emotion besides calming would you say like it entices you with?
Wanderlust.
Okay, that's a good emotion. Because that's why I mainly picked, because I love to sing along, even though I can't sing on key, but I picked the main thing with Hercules because of like the emotion I feel when singing the songs. Like just thinking of the Go to Distance song, classic.
Oh yeah, it is really really good.
It's so good. Like if I just need a pep in my step, like I will belt it off key, top of my lungs. Fantastic.
I mean, if you're going for like most singable soundtrack, it probably is Hercules.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
but I mean, Michael Giacchino is so able to invoke emotion in his music, and you see that in Inside Out and also The Incredibles, which he did. He never misses, you know.
Mhm.
And like when you're listening to The Paper Chase from the Ratatouille soundtrack, it feels like you are chasing something, or someone's chasing you. Like you feel the tension. And
yeah, you have to go
in it.
more layers with the orchestra if you're not going to have songs and whatnot. So you have to convey the emotion. Because I listen to Disney so much, so Taylor has done it where he's just played the instrumental, and I had to like choose like which instrumental song, because once you take away the words, it's a lot harder to identify the songs. But even then, like, so there was a few I could not get. He was like, because Taylor being a music guy, he's like, doesn't it sound sad? The song, doesn't it sound devastated? And so he'll like kind of give me hints of the mood of the song, and I'll be like, oh, duh, the ship is going down, a Little Mermaid, of course.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't I think about this?
Yeah, and he just does it so well, and you can feel it in every track what emotion is supposed to be conveyed.
I mean, gosh, I just have to. Yes, it's a soundtrack, but in my head, I'm thinking I can't get past sing along, because I won't say I'm in love. Like, no shot, no way. You won't hear me say I'm in love. It's so good. It's like, I think with my choice of song, the emotion I would have is almost not empowering, but like you feel motivated.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you can do anything. Like Zero to Hero.
That sounds empowering.
Mm-hmm. It's so good. And then like you just like, it's so relatable too. I can't relate to a rat, which I feel like I should since I'm a chef.
I was about to say, like, you can't relate to Ratatouille.
I
like
can
his
relate.
Great passion is he wants to be a chef, but no one will see him as a chef.
He wants to be a chef, but I am a chef, so I'll have to.
Yeah, you're on the other side.
Yes, but also if I saw a rat in my kitchen,
should be your favorite. Yeah, you're part of the problem. He just wants to learn how to cook.
I know, and I just want to pass my DHEC test every single semester. That's all.
Gotta have an A.
Yeah, I think I got a 98 out of 100 last time. It's very sad.
Yeah. So
those 2 points.
If I just want to talk about my favorite soundtrack to sing along to, I'm probably going to pick Treasure Planet, which, as everyone knows, because you're all intimately familiar with the movie, like I am, there's only 2 songs you can actually sing along to in Treasure Planet. They're both really good.
I've seen it 1,000 times, but I can't think of the songs. Yeah,
it's I'm Still Here and Always Know Where You Are. It plays during like the father-son bonding moment that he has with Silver. I'm Still Here. Then Always Know Where You Are is like the closing song.
Now, I was going to say, so Brandon, I asked him to be on this podcast with us, but something came up. But when I asked him, he responded yes with his answer. So he was going to say Tarzan.
Also good.
But it is good, but once again, no one actually sings. But there's a lot of words in that song. It's just all background. So no characters is like singing in that song.
Well, see, what Phil Collins did on Tarzan is amazing, because he kind of went in a different direction than most people would. He wasn't trying to fit the atmosphere. He was trying to fit the tone. And he does it really well. And that's why most people really like the Tarzan soundtrack. Some people hate on it because it's Phil Collins. And you're like, why is this song on Tarzan? But it's really good. It's very impressive. And Tarzan and Treasure Planet are, also intimately connected.
Are they intimately connected?
Yeah. They both use Deep Canvas, which is like Disney's, the last cool thing that Disney actually invented. It was like computer animation software that let them paint in a 3D space and move through that. That's when Tarzan's swimming on the vines and like tree surfing. That's what they're doing it in.
Interesting.
No, and like all of Treasure Planet is in Deep Canvas. That's why it's very expensive. Yeah. Well, we're going to stop talking about Treasure Planet because we have an episode on Treasure Planet.
Oh, do we? See, like you're giving them sneak peeks and bonuses right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So but like Hercules, I feel like I'm going to fight for this one because it's also very much influenced by gospel, which is why I think it also ministers to my heart as it does, because it gives you, granted, music, like in some people, like atheists will bring this up with like church and how it's manipulation and whatnot. But like we are designed to, like, if we hear a certain pattern of music, it's designed to make you feel a certain way. And so sometimes church can have a bad flag of like, it's just an emotional high whenever you're singing the gospel. So I think that's why I chose Hercules, because it's comforting to me. It's like more familiar and it gives me that emotional, I don't like saying emotional high, but it does kind of pique the similar emotions of like singing a gospel song.
Yeah, they do a really good job with like the gospel style that they use in Hercules, and it really is amazing the way the muses sound like a 5-piece church choir.
Mm-hmm. Did you know, I will say this every single time talking about Hercules, it was supposed to be the Spice Girls. They debated having the Spice Girls do it.
I think it would have been worse, personally.
It would not have fit. It would have been a whole different vibe.
The Spice Girls can't do gospel.
Yeah. I mean, but it also has pop and rock influences too, which is why I think they kind of were thinking of the Spice Girls, but I'm thankful not. So if you didn't choose Hercules, so I was torn between 3, and I listened to each soundtrack multiple times. That's why I said I was preparing months for this. And so when I told my husband, I was like, I have the Disney episode today. He's like, finally, because I've been like these 3 soundtracks rotating, trying to painfully choose them. And I'm kind of like sad Mulan was not one of the 3. Like, I feel like I have disserviced my Asian side, but it wasn't. Yeah, so Mulan's what would be really your good. Second? It's so good. Why didn't Reflection show like who I am inside?
Reflection's so good.
So good. But also like the
Let's Get Down to Business.
No, not Let's Get Down to Business. Whenever they're talking Girl Worth Fighting For, like my favorite is like,
what do we want?
A girl worth fighting for. But no, the guy who puts on this, he's like, I got a girl back home that's not like any other. Best Disney roast ever. The only girl who could love him is his mother.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot tell me a better Disney roast than that right there.
No. Disney's really has some amazing soundtracks. When you asked me to be on the episode, what happened in my mind was, yeah, of course I'll talk about Ratatouille, and then I didn't think about it again. Because I already know Ratatouille is my favorite Disney soundtrack, and I already know what to say. So I didn't do any research. I listened to it the same amount as, every other day.
You always do. I listen to Disney on rotation all the time, and it's such a subjective, statement, the best Disney soundtrack. But my other one was, why can't, my mind is going blank. It's been such a long day. Oh, I felt like this would have been a cop-out, but Encanto. Because Lin-Manuel, so good.
Yeah,
like he's
personally,
a genius.
I despise Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Do you?
Yeah.
So you never listened to Hamilton or
no.
anything? But you don't?
I don't like Hamilton.
It's okay. It's fine. So why do you hate him?
I just don't like his style.
Wow. I think he's a musical genius, so agree to disagree. But Encanto's so good. So do you like Encanto though, even though you don't like
his writing is much, much better than his performing.
Oh, okay. See,
he cannot perform. He can write.
See, I've never seen him perform. I've only listened to like a few of his.
Yeah, like, you've heard him probably in Hamilton.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm thinking like when I say Hamilton, I'm thinking like the lyrics and whatnot are just so witty.
Oh yeah, no. And he's a good writer. I don't like the fast pseudo rap style.
See, that didn't bother me
because it feels condescending to me like half the time. I don't like him.
I got you. Well, technically, because I know it's not, I can't remember if this is Disney soundtrack or original Disney soundtrack, but technically Hamilton is on Disney Plus, so I feel like this is free game to talk about.
Yeah.
But Hamilton is just like so geniusly done. Like, have you ever seen it? A little bit of it?
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I don't like it.
Oh, you have? Okay. I'm actually trying to get my husband and I to go see it live on Broadway in New York.
That would probably be worth it.
It's very expensive. And if you're going to do it, I fully believe I should not get nosebleed or like back of the bus tickets. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to pay a house payment on it.
Yeah. If I had to choose a second one, I would probably choose Coco.
My husband would have said Coco as his number one.
Yeah. Coco is
He loves that show.
fantastic.
So do you just love like the Hispanic style of it? Like how it...
Yeah, I think part of it is I really like Latin music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that however derived from Latin it may be, you know,
It's just
like
so
the French
cultured,
style
French.
is just nice. I love it. And then the Latin style, like Latin Spanish guitars, it's great. Like Spanish melodies, the Mexican blood that is in Coco, you can feel it. It's great. Coco is really good. I can probably sing Coco like front to back, which I can't really say for maybe anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, Encanto is also fantastic.
How did you feel? Because my third one was going to be Moana.
Moana's good too. I watched Moana a lot when it came out, but like when I could watch it legally on my laptop, like a good kid.
Like a good kid, really?
Yeah, watched it a ton.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what about Moana did you like? I love like the Pacific Island vibe, which I think because since I'm Filipino, I feel like it's closer to my heritage than Mulan. But I'm Chinese too. I can't decide. I'm a mutt. I feel bad for not having Mulan as my top 3. I feel like I have Cricky tattooed on my back. I feel like I just sinned, to be honest. So,
Moana's really good. It's Polynesian. Like it feels like they were trying to appeal to an American audience, but make it folky.
Okay.
Which I like. I do like the music in Moana. And Aurelie, I don't remember how to say her name. Moana is a fantastic singer, and she really, really does her job. She deserved her pay. She earned it.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like we chose more modern. Well, Hercules was not very modern, but like, what's the oldest soundtrack that you can think of that is sing along? Is it probably The Lion King? Oh, no, Aladdin, I think, was before Lion King. But
Mulan.
See, they're all good. Mulan was 1992, I think. I can't remember.
Probably Mulan.
I had a whole list, but then I can't find the list. I don't think I saved it when I was doing my research, but it's okay. I was like, we'll wing it.
Aladdin is also up there.
But so, did you enjoy the original soundtrack of Aladdin or
They're both good.
Live action? You like both of them?
Yeah, I do. I like Will Smith's Genie, and because I got to see Aladdin in theaters with Josh. He's not here, but shout out Josh. So
Josh was on my side, by the way. He would have also chosen Hercules.
Yeah, I could have told you that.
The one time Hercules he would be right. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he loves Hercules. Oh yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I wish we had one of our like Disney era's historians on here, so they could be like, "Well, yeah, this is when they really leaned into the music thing."
Right.
I don't know, man. Renaissance era. That's when it feels like for me is when like let's make these singable so that we can make money off of the soundtracks.
Disney is so smart.
Yeah, and they kill it. I can't really think of a bad soundtrack. I can think of a soundtrack that I don't love, but
which one would that be?
Raya.
Yeah, I didn't even think about
It's not that I don't like it. It's that I cannot remember it at all. I cannot remember one note from the Raya soundtrack right now.
Well, because don't they all? Well, I mean, no, I guess recent ones. They're all kind of musical. That's Disney's thing. Does Disney have any movies that doesn't really have a soundtrack?
No, not one. I don't even think. So people don't really realize how big of a piece of the movie that the soundtrack is. So like when movies come out that have bad soundtracks, they flop. No one sees them because no one wants to see them. Because somebody does, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that sucked. It was horrible." And it could be a fine movie, but with a bad soundtrack, you're going nowhere.
Right. It says, I just kind of did a quick research, least popular Disney tracks, which I know we're doing the opposite of the show. It's okay. The Black Cauldron, the film soundtrack did not make a big impact as some other Disney classics. So I
would like to disagree.
But see, I said that one because you and Josh like the Black Cauldron. It's one of your favorites.
Yeah, it's good.
But I can't think of the soundtrack. Is it?
I think they said that because the movie's not popular. I think they're hating.
Well, and then I'm going to disagree on this one. They said the Aristocrats had a bad soundtrack, but like Everybody Wants to Be a Cat, that's my jam.
Everybody does want to be a cat.
It gets stuck in my head randomly at times. So I'm going to say this article is wrong.
Yeah. Have to
final
agree.
answer. So yeah, so I think we just proved it. Disney has no, I mean, not as popular soundtracks, but they have no bad soundtrack.
I think Raya might be maybe not their worst one. Like I definitely need to watch it again, but for what Raya could have been, the soundtrack could have been better. Because if you take a movie like Interstellar and you remove the soundtrack, it's still a fine movie, but it would have been nowhere near as like instant cult success as Interstellar was.
Yeah, well, I mean, you take Frozen too. Frozen is nothing without the soundtrack.
Yeah, because Frozen is bad.
Yeah, Mulan, you could still have like a solid story. A lot of these, you will have a solid story if you took away the soundtrack, but Frozen, you have nothing.
It's true.
But why do I belt Let It Go? It's so good. Have you seen Frozen 2?
I have seen Frozen 2.
Into
Not a
the
fan.
Unknown? No, but I'm talking about the
Into
song.
the Unknown is okay.
Oh, you don't like A Panic at the Disco?
No, that was good too. But that's not the version they used in the movie.
Yeah, but it was inspired. See, that's my thing too. If I like the song big enough in the movie, I'm going to also listen to the original version that it inspired by.
Yeah.
And
And Yuri
did
it really well. But I don't know, just generally like the Frozen 2 soundtrack, I don't remember anything except for Into the Unknown. But it's still a fine soundtrack. It's good.
Okay, so going back to our favorite as we're wrapping up the episodes, what do you want us to know more about the Ratatouille soundtrack?
So you have to know that Ratatouille's soundtrack is only 62 minutes long.
Total?
Yeah. So like, just check it out. You have an hour to kill. It's also,
that's a commute to work.
Yeah. Gosh, I hope not. But Le Festin, the main song that was written for that, was sang by Camille, who's a French singer. She's fantastic. She's great. You should listen to some Camille song. I love her. Also, just like listen to French music because French music is good. I think Ratatouille has the most well-titled soundtrack of any that I can think of, which is not really part of a soundtrack, like not a part that people think about, but it gives me a lot of joy being able to look at my phone and see that the song I'm listening to is, like Remy drives a linguini, because that's funny. Remy drives a linguini.
I couldn't have told you any of the soundtrack names.
Yeah, this is more specific. The end credit theme, which usually for a Disney movie is a suite of, the other tracks from the soundtrack for the length of the credits. Ratatouille's is named End Creditouille's. Super funny. Normally they just call it End Credits and slap it onto the soundtrack. I don't know. That's like just a little attention to detail that I love about Ratatouille. You also need to know that it's like critically under awarded for how good this soundtrack is. Because it was nominated for Best Original Score. It didn't win it though. It lost to Atonement, which I haven't even seen. I don't know what Atonement is. It won the Annie Award for Best Music in an Animated Production, and it won the Grammy for Best Score for Visual Media. It got nominated for some other ones, but I just feel like there's more there. I feel like it could have won more.
Do you think if it got re-released, like if the movie came out today, it would still hold its like the high awards faced with like movies in today's
almost definitely
Disney? You think so?
Almost definitely
a classic. It's not gonna lose its shine.
Yeah. So like Michael Giacchino is a fantastic composer. The only other composers that I think can go like bar for bar with him are going to be like Hans Zimmer. What is his name? He just did Oppenheimer. I feel Ludwig Göransson. He is fantastic. He's absolutely been killing it. See, the issue is a lot of the other, who I consider to be the best composers, modern composers, are either not active anymore or they don't do movies. Like Jesper Kidd is a fantastic video game music producer. He's done Assassin's Creed and stuff. He's great. I assume he's not comfortable scoring a movie, but I really wish he was, because I feel like he'd do a great job. But Hans Zimmer, Ludwig Göransson, Michael Giacchino, those are some of my like top guys. If he's not having to compete with either of them, I think Michael Giacchino could win that award season easily.
If you could choose two, I guess, like themes or composers to like collaborate? Like if you could combine two musical things, would it be Coco and Ratatouille, or would you want to see Ratatouille? You know what I mean? If your like favorite soundtrack had a baby, who do you want to be the daddy? I did not like how that came out.
Yeah, that was weird. Treasure Planet and Ratatouille.
You think?
I think that would sound awesome. Like glitch pop French jazz.
All right. I need to watch Treasure Planet. I never even thought about the soundtrack of Treasure Planet, so I need to do that. I might do that tomorrow.
That's good.
On my way to work.
It's kind of, it doesn't stand out as much as some others. But
and when I said commute, I meant like 30 minutes there, 30-minute back. So if anyone has an hour commute,
quit.
Think about getting a new job, because is it really worth the mental health? Yeah.
If you're not getting paid for that, quit.
Yeah, no. But 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back with traffic, I feel like it's okay commute, you know, if you wanted my opinion, which you didn't ask for, there it is. But Hercules also won some awards too. So I think it got 2 Grammy Award nominations in like 1998, it said. And I think you mentioned it earlier, Go the Distance was nominated Best Song, like for like a written for a motion picture soundtrack. Go the Distance did not win. It got the honor and like the 69th Academy Award winner. So whatever. I'm not upset, just mad. So if I had to choose Hercules, I think I would want Hercules to combine with Encanto, because I want to see how like the lyric. Well, I don't know, because it doesn't really, I don't think Hercules can improve any, because it already has the lyrics. You know what I mean? It doesn't need Lin-Manuel to enhance the lyrics, and I feel like the tempo and the gospel.
I think adding Lin-Manuel Miranda would make Hercules so bad.
Yeah. But I say I can't. It doesn't work with my 2 favorite ones. I can't even think of any. Like I feel like Hercules is the total package.
Yeah,
me personally.
So what I think really is that I think Ratatouille is the best soundtrack because it does something that has sort of been done before, and it does it better than everything else. And I think Hercules was new and exciting and excellent and infrequent. No one tries to copy Hercules because nobody can.
No, I don't think any other Disney, maybe Princess and the Frog, kind of had like a similar feel, because it had like that Bayou, Louisiana, which in the South you're also inspired by, like, you know, gospel. Yeah, well, that's why you're shaking your head so much. You love the French.
Yeah, no, Princess and the Frog is a great mention. I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot it counts.
It's so good. But yeah, I think that's the closest I can like composing to Hercules.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely one of a kind. And I love Princess and the Frog too, now that I think about it. There's just so many. It's hard to choose one. This is why we came to talk about one, but we ended up talking about all of them, as we should.
Yeah.
So are you going to go watch Princess and the Frog now?
No, I'm going to go back to playing Valorant, but I might play Valorant with the Ratatouille soundtrack on in the background.
I got you. So before we wrap up, tell us, besides Valorant, what would you recommend to our dear listeners?
Well, Valorant's the only thing I do anymore. So go read Dawn of the Jedi. You can read it in a book. You can read the comics. The comics are available online, and they're really good. It's really interesting to see like the prehistory of the Jedi Order. It's awesome. Pre-lightsaber Star Wars.
I like it.
Almost.
So I kind of mentioned it earlier, but it wasn't what I was geeking out on. If you have not watched Downton Abbey, it's completed. It has 2 movies. You will be buckled in for a ride. Like, I will say this is my favorite television series, and I love it so much, I may like choose to watch it. If I had a choice between watching Downton and never watching anime again, it would be a hard choice. Like, that's how high I put. But I love the Tong. I love like the British culture and like London's empire and like all the newness of it. When they was getting like new things developed into the England society. Like, I don't know why I'm obsessed. So watch Downton Abbey. It's a great binge to have it in the background. So, TJ, anything else with Ratatouille?
Man, just go listen to the Ratatouille soundtrack.
Go listen to all the soundtracks of Disney. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us for a more laid back episode. If you are a Patreon subscriber, We will have a final question that I will think of in just a second for you guys after the episode for your bonus question as a thank you for loving us so well. Also, if you have not liked us already, you can like us on YouTube or join our Discord chat to be more part of the show. Hope you have a great one. Remember, we are all... I can't think of... TJ, say the thing out. I can't do it. Say the thing.
I'm not saying that thing. The geek in me loves the geek in you.
Amen.
This was an Anazao Ministries podcast. If you enjoyed this show and would like to learn more about our network, be sure to check out the Anazao Ministries podcast network.